What makes a god the king of gods? Strength? Strategy? Fate? Today, we're unpacking how Zeus, youngest of the Olympians, climbed from a hidden cave to the highest throne on Mount Olympus. Greek myth doesn't crown leaders lightly. The world of the gods is built on cycles of power, creation, conflict, and compromise. To understand why Zeus sits at the top, we have to track the chain of succession, the choices he made, and the kind of authority he forged out of chaos. It starts with the Titans. Cronus overthrew his father Uranus and took the cosmos by force, but power won through violence breeds paranoia. A prophecy warned that Cronus would be overthrown by one of his children, so he swallowed them at birth. That's the climate Zeus was born into: fear, control, and locked potential. His mother, Rhea, hid Zeus in a Cretan cave and handed Cronus a stone wrapped like a baby. Zeus grew in secrecy, nurtured on the edges of a tyrant's empire. The first lesson he absorbed wasn't lightning, it was survival. And survival pointed to a different path than his father's. When Zeus came of age, he didn't rush in with thunderbolts. He used craft. With the help of Metis, the goddess of wisdom, Cronus was made to disgorge Zeus's siblings Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, fully grown and furious. This wasn't just a family reunion, it was the assembling of a coalition. Where Cronus hoarded power alone, Zeus built it in layers: wisdom from Metis, loyalty from siblings, and soon alliances from forces older than the Titans themselves. It was the first sign that Zeus's kingship wouldn't rest only on might, it would rest on alliances that lasted. Rebellion sparked 10 years of war, the Titanomachy. Titans led by Cronus versus the Olympians led by Zeus. On paper, the Titans had pedigree and mass. But Zeus tipped the balance by freeing the Cyclopes and the Hecaton shares, ancient beings his father had imprisoned. The Cyclopes forged the Thunderbolt, Trident, and Helm of Invisibility, signature weapons for Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. The Hecaton shares, with 100 hands each, hurled boulders like stormfire. Zeus didn't just fight, he recruited the wronged, empowered them, and redistributed the tools of power. That shift, turning prisoners into partners, broke Titan dominance and shaped Zeus's leadership style. When the Titans fell, Zeus didn't erase them. He confined them to Tartarus under guard, establishing order instead of endless revenge. And order is exactly what came next. After victory, the three brothers cast lots. Zeus took the sky, Poseidon the sea, Hades the underworld. Earth and Olympus were common ground, but Zeus presided. This wasn't a greedy grab, it was an ordered settlement that acknowledged different domains and prevented another civil war. Zeus emerged as the coordinator, the one who mediated between realms. If Poseidon raged or Hades resented, Zeus's role was to keep the balance. Kingship, in this model, meant being the axis, a stabilizer more than a tyrant. Still, the world wasn't done testing him. From Gaia and Tartarus rose Typhon, a monster with 100 serpentine heads, a living storm meant to challenge Zeus's claim. Many gods fled. Zeus stood and fought. The thunderbolt wasn't just spectacle, it was the symbol of rightful rule order against primordial chaos. After fierce battles and a setback in some versions, Zeus triumphed and pinned Typhon under Mount Etna. This sealed his supremacy in more than politics. It showed he could face the raw forces beneath creation and win. A true king in myth doesn't just win elections, he survives the apocalypse. But raw power alone can't hold a throne forever. Zeus anchored his kingship in cosmic law. Oaths were sworn by him, justice flowed through him as Zeus Xenios, protector of guests, and Zeus Horkios, guardian of oaths. When gods feuded, he arbitrated. When mortals broke sacred codes, he punished. And above Zeus stood the Moirai, the Fates. Crucially, Zeus worked with fate rather than pretending to outrun it. He absorbed Metis's wisdom, fathered Athena's mind and strategy personified, and learned to govern by counsel and compromise. He could be severe, yes, but he practiced restraint when the fabric of order demanded it. That placed him not just at the top of the hierarchy, but at the center of a moral structure. Even a king meets resistance. Hera challenged him through plots. The gods once tried a brief revolt. Zeus bound them to accountability, but he also released them when order was restored. With Prometheus, who stole fire for humans, Zeus punished the transgression but ultimately permitted humanity's ascent within boundaries. He maintained distance, yet enabled growth, a delicate balance between control and creativity. His authority survived not because it was unbreakable, but because it could absorb conflict without collapsing into chaos. So why Zeus and not Poseidon or Hades? Poseidon embodied raw force and mood, a stormy sea that could drown the world. Hades ruled a necessary but isolating realm, powerful yet distant. Zeus combined strength, strategy, and the willingness to share rule. He built coalitions, won decisive wars, organized domains, and enforced a moral order. He could strike with lightning, but he preferred to stabilize the sky. That blend, charisma, cunning, and a structured vision made him the mythic archetype of kingship. In a universe born from chaos and carried through cycles of rebellion, Zeus became king not simply by winning, but by binding. He allied the wronged, balanced rival powers, and turned fate from a threat into a framework. That's why the Thunderbolt still stands for more than noise. It stands for order earned, maintained, and constantly defended.